10.
We ready to go, Rick?
Ready to go.
All righty. Well, I'll call this to order such as it is. Thank you all for coming, for participating. Rick, thank you for setting it up. And is Skip in on this? I didn't see you.
Yeah.
Skip is here? Okay. Well, I want to thank Skip and Judy for kind of getting it organized and off the ground for me. I know there's probably some business report. I don't know. Judy, do we have anything in particular monetarily we need to know?
Let's see. No. I just paid Rick last night for the Zoom. So all of our, bills are caught up. We have over 13,000 in the checking account since we made our down payment for the room for our show. So that's been done.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, good. And we're up to, we pay for Arlington room, right? We're up on that now.
No, we have not yet because we haven't held a meeting there. That's one thing I'll check with
Okay, all right.
next month is making a payment for Arlington room.
Judy, how does that work with Arlington? Is it just paid every month as we go, or is it paid once a year, or what?
It's usually once a year. Since we haven't, she'll just charge us for half a year.
Yeah, the Arlington Parks Department, I deal with the softball league and paying for the use of the fields. And the Parks Department is kind of lackadaisical on collecting bills and sending out invoices and stuff.
Hi, Gene.
That's a pretty hefty bank balance.
Yeah.
For our club. And I
Yes,
think,
isn't it?
yeah, we should
That's
probably
why-
have,
Wait, that's why
some
I'm
just-
giving my gift certificates.
go ahead,
Huh?
go ahead.
That's why we're giving away gift certificates.
To kind of help.
Yeah, I was gonna say, print more gift certificates.
Okay,
And, we make a donation to the TPA, $100 to them. So yeah, if you guys have any other organizations you want us to donate money to, we definitely have the money to do that.
The Christmas,
if that balance keeps, going up every year, though, I think we need to take a look at where we're going and because that's quite a bit of money to have in our account.
Yeah, it stays, well, really, it doesn't go up every year. It just pretty much stays right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One other business thing with a little bit of finances attached to it. The Bentwater Board, where the Lake Granbury Group meets, has approved our continuing to meet there this year.
Okay.
It is a new board. There's a new management company. It appears that the fee for using it for 6 months, because I asked for it for June through November. I was not comfortable to start meeting live until June, but they have approved it. It appears that our costs are going to be, our charge will be $50 for the remainder of the year.
Oh,
It
wow.
was $50 last year.
Yeah.
We might be generous and double that just to show them our good faith, because it's worth far more than that.
That's 50 a month, right? Or is it 50 for the entire time?
50 for the entire time, Peter.
Wow,
So,
that's pretty good.
yeah,
Bargain at any price.
we do well. The only thing they asked was they asked me to write an article for their newsletter
Okay.
explaining the stamp club and, offering membership to anyone within the community. And I know there are 2 or 3 people within the community that have holdings of stamps, and I'm going to offer to let them join in our auctions and try and entice them to bring it out of retirement to sell to one of us.
Okay. Super.
As a matter of fact, one of the collections that I've seen is an outstanding Hungarian collection by somebody's grandfather. If I pry it loose from them because I can't seem to get anybody within the family interested in picking it up.
Okay.
Wow.
I'll say, go ahead and send me the information, or I'll just mail you a check.
Well, let me pay it and then you can reimburse me, Judy. They haven't, because of the new management company, they haven't decided how they can bill me or how I'm supposed to pay or what it is.
Okay, all right. Well, let me know when I owe you.
That sounds good. Dave, thank you for that information.
Yes.
Yeah, we lost Gene.
Gene, come back.
That's the other Gene. I'm still here.
Oh,
Yeah, picture.
Gene too.
Dean Pressner.
Okay.
How to pronounce it in German.
All right.
Who dropped out?
I don't
Oh,
know,
Fretchner.
but, yeah. Skip, are you
Back.
on somewhere? Do you have anything from the secretary's point of view?
There have been no changes in our membership since the last report.
Welcome back, Gene.
All right.
No
Thank
connection
you.
to audio.
Ralph, I saw Ralph on there. I know we have an expo meeting in a couple of weeks. Is that still on, and what's the details?
It's still on. And I believe that we had agreed that it was still going to be a virtual meeting, but I've also looked into the possibility of an in-person meeting, and there are some places that I could, that we could meet that would, as long as we also eat there, the room would be free.
I think for the expo, after the last expo meeting, I personally would prefer a in-person meeting for the expo if you can, Ralph.
Okay, I can. I just want to make sure I'll get attendance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
one thing, Ralph,
Yes.
you need to get with Tom and decide if we're gonna have 22 or 26 dealer tables.
Okay, because when I last talked with him, he said that he felt confident that it'd be 26, but I can see if I can get that confirmed.
Yeah, because we got two maps, and I'll bring both of those to the meeting.
All right.
my only thing is like with David's barbecue, that is way too small of a room, and the 6 feet apart, that would leave us like what, 3 people in the rooms, as far as once we have to take masks off for eating. So, I mean, that said, yes, I just had my second vaccination about 2 weeks ago, but, nevertheless, I.
How about Spring
Oh,
Creek
God.
Barbecue on 157? That has a much larger room.
That sounds.
Yeah, the one the one down by the Parks Mall?
Yes.
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
sounds good.
I'll check with them and see if we can get that.
Okay.
I
What
will
day will we be looking at this meeting? I've forgotten.
I will not
I
be,
think it was
Saturday.
It was the 24th.
Yes, thank you.
I will not be there. I have another commitment, Ralph.
Oh, but we did check on security for you, Ken, and.
Yes.
Okay, so you know about that.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't have a calendar. All right, where am I?
Oh, Ralph?
Yes.
Before the Saturday. So we're looking at the normal around lunchtime meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ralph?
Generally, we try to get there at 11 and have it 11 to 1.
All
Okay.
right.
Time to eat and time to get through our meeting.
Okay. Janet Moyer agreed to be my co-chairperson with the registration.
Yes, thank you.
Now, expo meetings aside, have we had any so-called board of directors meeting in the last year and something?
No, we have not.
I know we usually have held them in conjunction with an expo meeting, either just before or after, or usually just before, I think. But if we're going to have an in-person meeting, would it make sense to tie one in just in case or not?
Well, we could. It depends upon the participation and if there's issues that we need to agenda items that we need to discuss, I would have no objection. Most of the people on the board are also run some kind of function at Expo, so it's
But
no
Stan,
problem with
you
me
already
to.
have a conflict.
And what, Rick?
You already have a conflict though with that date.
Oh, we do?
That's what Stan said, wasn't it?
No,
The
oh,
Expo.
no.
It was Ken.
Yeah, that was Ken Aldridge.
I can't be there.
Oh, okay, sorry.
As far as a board of directors meeting, if there's issues, now it's been kind of an unusual year, so there may not be too many issues, but if there are,
I can't think of any issues we have right now.
Just getting the new website up officially, I guess we need a final vote of some sort so somebody can flick the switch and get it done.
Well, I thought that had been flipped.
I think we got the vote on an
I thought
email
so, too.
Yeah,
vote, and
Yes,
I forwarded that information to James and to Evan that, hey, you got the go ahead. And the last thing I got back, picks up and tweak. And then he was going to turn over to Evan to get it live. And I haven't heard anything since. That's been a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, I gave them a new graphic for the homepage on that, but I don't know what the problem is with them guys just turning the thing on, you know. I mean, it looks good. I mean, some of the stuff is still outdated, but we can take care of that as we go along, and having the other members take a look at it would help. I would think, you know, because people make suggestions and have the stuff that they want to see on the website, you know. So I really think we could push to get Evan to turn that thing on. We've got a ULIS meeting coming up, so I think at the ULIS meeting we can
2 weeks.
rattle his cage a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, because the
Well, I
ULIS,
think part of it probably has to do with the administrative aspects of, anything from maybe switching domain registrars or switching the record of, who the contacts are and all that minutiae for behind the scenes stuff.
Well, I don't know. I will send Jim an email and ask him kind of what the status is, reference the fact he said he was almost ready to do it, and try to see if I can get something to move.
Well, I did have a concern about the domain registration. The name Mid-Cities Stamp Club is owned by us apparently, but through this other guy. And so I went ahead and bought another domain that is Mid-Cities Stamp Club, but it's without the hyphen in it. And just
.com or .org or
.com. And I own that now. So if there's any problem with the one that we have existing, I can turn that one over to the group.
good.
And it's just a very slight difference, but you
Yeah.
never notice it. You never notice it.
well,
I
a
just-
few
I just
people
wanted
use
to do that.
hyphens anyway.
I just wanted to do that to make sure that we maintain our identity on the web.
thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick, for stepping up and being a little proactive on that. Appreciate it.
No problem.
You're dealing in an area I'm just not that familiar with.
Most people aren't.
Peter, anything relative to the newsletter other than get your articles in?
Yep, that's about it. I've got I don't know why it's maybe just comes natural to me, but every time I turn around, there materializes another couple of been there, done that. I mean, I have a continual backlog of about 40 of these still that I've literally after 1 or 2 or 3 years sitting there. I got the photos, I've got the stamps, etc. I just need to, do the write-up. But then I'm doing something and all of a sudden, hey, there's a new one, and that one now takes precedence. Like I found again, I can do that during show and tell here, but just the way stuff pops into my head and I go, there's another one and another one and another one. And I probably have 3 or 4 of them already. I mean, Weedman sent me about 4 or 5 of them here that I've got sitting here. At least one of his will go in there, obviously, if not more. And it's, certainly not been a problem doing a 14-page newsletter lately. I'm actually spending more time on the newsletter than on my actual collection. I mean, it's really just collecting the stamps that I need to write articles with. But I have fun with it, and I guess that's the whole point. So, but otherwise, no, nothing new on the newsletter. Just get stuff in so I can get it out on time. So, I mean, the last article pretty much always is yours, Rich. I leave enough room for that, or I can fill in something else. But at that point, I've got everything in because that's usually right after the ULIS meeting time. So after those last minutes, then I'm pretty close to wrapping it up and putting it in.
Okay.
That's all I
Thank you.
got there.
Well, we wanted to, Peter, we wanted to make sure that we had a notice in the newsletter about the meeting in Arlington being in person so that we don't have to call people like Bob and Jeff Jessup and Diana Davis to let them know that we're having a meeting. So if we can get something, some little blurb.
Yeah,
in there somewhere.
I've already got it. Yeah, I've already got it flagged as in person for the little calendar part on page 2. And let me go back to my newsletter. On the last page, that little diagonal thing that I print on the address side, I've
Right.
already says Arlington May 5 meeting is in person. So it's in 2 places already.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
And I presume any following
Thank
ones
you.
in Arlington are going to be in person, and ULIS is supposed to be in person this month, right? And Granbury not until what, June, right, Dave?
Yes, not until June.
Okay. I forgot to look up information, but I think is the TSDA have a show? Is it this weekend?
This weekend.
Yes.
Plano area? Okay.
Friday and Saturday.
1 mile due north of where the old one was held. Just basically the next exit further north, 1 mile on the same side, meaning southwest side of that street. And it's in that whatever the Doubletree or whatever hotel it's at. That puts it 1 mile closer to my house, actually. So that's driving for me.
All right. So there we are. Anybody, any other business from anybody else right now? All right. Anybody, I've heard somebody reference show and tell. Anybody have some show and tell I'd like to take off with?
Well, somebody else other than me can go first. So I don't mind.
It's like
I think
Dave's
Dave raised his hand.
Yeah, I've
Dave?
got a show and tell. I've got an envelope. Let me hold it up so you can see it. This is a stamped envelope with a 2-cent stamp or a 2-cent embossed image on it. I think that's U429 in the Scott catalog. However, this envelope was sent from Amsterdam Central Station. It has a 15, let's see, that wouldn't be cents, it would be centab, wouldn't be.
Well, it's Dutch, so it's probably cents.
Okay, it was a 15-cent stamp from Netherlands and was sent to New York City to the Secretary Treasurer. It doesn't say Secretary Treasurer of what, but it was sent to, there are no other postal marks on it other than the one cancellation dated 1927, March 22nd. But I thought it interesting that it was the US envelope with a 2-cent stamp on it and then sent from the Netherlands with a 15-cent stamp on
Well,
it.
the way that looks like a rubber stamp on that envelope, right? So it was probably a return stamped envelope sent to different people, members maybe of a place, and maybe somebody in the Netherlands got that to return their dues or whatever with. And well, obviously it was from the Netherlands, so they had to go apply their own postage to it. That would be my guess, not knowing anything else.
Probably a good guess. I just thought it interesting. I discovered the mixed postage on it.
It was interesting, Dave.
Thank you. Anybody else? Don't all speak at once.
I'll reserve my time for the program.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, well, let me see here. I had something. Yeah. I guess you guys can see this now, or?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, I was going through a pile of stuff and I found some of these old, Wilkinsburg Stamp Club things, which I'm sure you're probably seen over the years, right? Which are always in conjunction with one of their stamp shows. And this one is from 1971. And, they're always some sort of a parody, usually of a real U.S. stamps. Like this one here says, not 20 cents, but plenty cents. And I guess you'd have to look into some other stuff about the postal strike of 1970 is in small print here. And then watch for brick stops, or I don't know, weird stuff that they put on here on the side, running up on the side. It says use zip code dash unzipped mail, M-A-L-E, is immoral. Yeah, play on words, kind of fun stuff to look at these and all the little stuff that they're hiding. Then there was another one here, Upper Slabovia, the postage, the 6-cent Cherokee strip, and then here it says Bijou Burlesque, as a little joke thing. And there's another one here. I can't see all of it because it's Washington with the beard shaved, and then Mr. Zip going close shave, a specialty, and the World's Fair stamp says world's unfair, and they just kind of poke fun at all sorts of stuff. Wrigley Field, get it? Spearmint, double mint, yeah. Baseball quads of 79. And on the side here it says, encourage young collectors. You'll need them to buy your collection when you're on Social Security. And on the right side it says, report of a stolen base was a foul tip. I don't know baseball, so I'll plead ignorance on that one.
If you guys see any of these,
I did have
these things are still available at the Wilkinsburg Stamp Club. They have a library.
Now,
these things are still selling.
Now I did get this in the only other thing I have right now is I got this in the mail, which is this large plastic envelope with a see-through portion, which is the white part here, which has address information in it. These are, they're labeled U.S. Postal Service. It's a flat rate mailing envelope, although I've never seen those anywhere. And the only people that seem to use these are stocks and mutual fund companies when they send you your annual proxy votes and, all the materials that go with it. And I've received several of these. But apparently it is an official USPS priority mail plastic envelope. I've just never seen one of these until this year. But
how big is that?
It says order free online, but it's like I don't think this particular one is free online. I mean, I'm sure it's designed for high-speed automated assembly of voting materials and all that stuff and into here. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I'm trying to remember here what else I had.
Ken,
That's
to answer your
basically an
question,
8.5 by 11.
looks like 9 and
Yeah,
3.
it's about. Yeah, it says like 9 by 12, because the stuff they send you is 9 by like 8.5 by 11. So you gotta have a little bit of wiggle room around it. But I was also toying around with some stuff, and for example, when people do scans of stamps, like this particular one here, you can probably see it on my thumbnail shot, but both of this one and this one I scanned at 600 dots per inch. So this one looks just a little bit fuzzy, and this is the exact same stamp without any modifications by me, just the way it came off the scanner. It looks way better. And then I kind of looked at my scanner, and my default setting on my scanner, even at 600 dots per inch, which is pretty high, it says it's for a text and image type image versus that's like for this setting right here. And when I switched it over to photo, then it looks like this. So it's like, aha, I get way better scans when I switch the settings on my scanner, because a lot of stuff just looks a little bit of fuzzy otherwise. But the reason for this particular stamp is because of this. Kind of hard to tell, but This is the front or back or obverse, reverse, however you want to call them, of a Greek coin that I have in my collection from 449 BC. So say something like 2,500 years old. And that is essentially the same coin as this. Now, the one that you see on the stamp is probably from a much more pristine, less worn example. If you look at the picture on the left side of the stamp that features Athena, the goddess Athena, that's her. You kind of have to step back a bit and then you can see it. It's a little bit more worn. And of course, I like this stamp because of the owl. And this is the owl on mine. Again, it is the same design. Obviously, what they used for the stamp was a pristine example of this coin, while mine was slightly more worn. And every one of these coins, of course, was hand struck, not by a machine. So every one would look slightly differently. But I figured that it made for another nice been there, done that article. And again, it came about because I saw this stamp flipping through some stuff, and I go, hey, I got a stamp. I got a Greek coin from that era with an owl on it. And then, of course, I found it, and there's my owl. Whatever the A-O or Delta O-E or whatever letters there are, that's the same letters you see here. And, the problem is that it's really, really difficult to scan a coin. You have to take a photograph of it. So I had to use my digital camera to take a photo because coins just do not scan well. And I have some examples of that. This is a scan of a coin, and this is a photo of exactly the same coin. So, and again, I'll use that one for another article. This happens to be a coin of my hometown, Zurich, from 1748. And again, it features pictures that I've taken of that same scene, actually. But and somewhere I think there's a stamp with a coin from Zurich on it as well from the Roman days, although this is not Roman. But, anybody that wants to, dabble with this kind of stuff, just use a digital camera. It looks so much better. I mean, just looking at the difference between that, which looks really bad, and both of this was on my scanner at 300 dots per inch, while this would have been my digital camera at, whatever, 20 megapixels, whatever that works out in dots per inch, a fair amount in any case. So, but
who has
if you're scanning,
who has a
what
camera
now?
anymore?
I have a what?
Who has a camera anymore?
No.
Well, believe it or not, I do. I still have a digital camera. I'm not talking about the one on my cell phone either. I mean an actual digital camera. It's a point and shoot pocket camera, but it still takes, pretty good photos, because this is a photo I took of another coin from Switzerland from 1826. And, again, this would have been a scan. And it just looks so much better. And the depth, the 3D part of a coin comes out way better on a photo. Stamps are mostly two-dimensional, but it still looks better when you're doing it as a photo. That itself could be a write-up on photographing stuff for for visuals. So
maybe
so
Athena
here's just
was one of those Monet women. The Monet women.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch.
I said, Athena was probably one of those Monet women. Like Monet's paintings, they look better from a longer distance away.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist. I just had to do that. Sorry.
Well, as you can tell, I'm also looking at more TV philately stuff here. There's a little town I visited in Germany called Rudesheim. There's a picture of it. In fact, I took a picture from up here. That part right here is where this photo is taken from. In fact, that's that church on that thing. I even saw a mailbox there, so it's semi-philatelic. So, he said, I have a boatload of stuff you see here scrolling through that are all been there, done that's waiting for me to be written. So this one will be featured soon. So anyway, even this one, I've been here. I've been to this particular castle. I took a picture of it from there. So anyway, I have lots of fun. I keep finding stuff. I don't know why. I'm not even trying hard, but so. But for me, the whole thing is that it's fun, and it allows me to remember my own past better, because, pictures 1,000 words, that kind of thing. And looking at a photo is one thing, but now you can tie a photo together with a stamp, and, hopefully there's a little story anecdote to be written at the same time. So Well, that's all I've got.
Thank you, Pete. Anybody else with a show and tell or anything else before we get to Ken and his program?
Looking forward to the program.
Okay. Mr. Aldridge, are you ready?
Well, we'll give this a shot. I want to thank Rick for doing a dry run with me. So hang on here and we'll see what we can do. Okay. You see that?
Nope. You got to hit the share screen button.
Oh, sorry. All right, now how do I get out of this? End show. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't do the share screen. So.
There you go.
There it is.
Now hit the slideshow and good to go. Yeah,
You see that now?
looking good.
Yes.
Sir.
Okay, now this is not going to be a lecture on Roman history.
Oh, man. Is there going to be a quiz? Do I need to take notes?
But about, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, I came across some mosaic stamps. Really fascinated me, and I started looking into it. But originally started, they think they started in Greece, and they just used stones, colored stones, to make designs. So it just is fascinating to me, the art, the artisanship of these people and the skill that they had to do some of these. Notice it was mostly for royalty, aristocracy, or in the churches. There's in the late 50s, early 60s, and in the 70s, there was quite a few came out in different countries. And what I have tried to do is I've tried to actually get something from each country, particularly if it was a mosaic that that I liked. It was colorful. Like this one is from Luxembourg, this example. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be. It's a face, I guess. It looks like you got your eyes and nose and mouth. And these are, except for one exception, they are all from this country that did the stamps. The mosaics were found in that country. So we have the Roman Empire. Romans took up this the idea of mosaics and ran with it, and really everywhere that the Roman Empire expanded, you can find mosaics. This is kind of early on, fairly early on, first century AD, but you'll see Northern Africa all the way over into Iran, Iraq, a lot of Europe and Great Britain, part of Great Britain. This is another map showing the little, well, it shows the more of the ocean and the seas, and get a little better idea. The Nile River, Egypt. Augustus Caesar died in 14 AD. After that, the Roman Empire kept expanding. First of all, in this area, and then over in here, and then eventually into Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, And this, I think, is be more like Albania and Hungary. And then Northern Africa, which Algeria has put out several. One of the places that's had a lot of mosaics is Cyprus. And I'm not sure why. I guess the powers to be in Cyprus were fascinated with the mosaics, and then this is the 3rd century AD. It's actually even expanded more, and then eventually, you know, of course, Rome kind of fell, and they moved their headquarters to Constantinople, which is, I think, is right about over in here. Okay, so how big was the Roman Empire? You can see the United States here. So it covered quite an area. Okay, let's start with some of these. A lot of these are the actual sets. Some of the sets are not all mosaics. They have other stamps in the sets. But I tried to pick stamps, the sets that had mostly mosaics. And of course, the ones that they're more colorful. There's a lot of detail in a lot of these. There's a lot of detail like in this stamp right there. It's another one from Greece. Now remember, these are colored stones. They eventually got to where they would actually cut stones, bigger stones, into making smaller pebbles. Another one from Greece. This comes from a set. The other stamps in the set were commemoratives of other things, but I like that one. And of course, the Vatican. I basically stopped purchasing mosaics, and over the last 10 years or so, 15 years, there have been fewer and fewer of them come out. This was kind of interesting. This comes from Dahomey, but these were mosaics that were found in Venice, or were in Venice. This guy over here has got, I think that's like he's got a bird in his hand and carrier pigeon or something. This is quite a colorful one from Hungary. This is the one that fascinated me. This was a single issue from France, not part of a set. Cyprus, like I said, Cyprus has a lot of, and so does Albania, which kind of surprised me. But here's an example of a set that was issued 1970. You got one mosaic, and then the other two commemorate some other whatever. Also Cyprus. Does anybody have any mosaic stamps in your collections? No.
I don't think so. I know I don't.
Well,
I probably have some, but
yeah,
might be my childhood collection.
Yeah.
I've never looked for them, so I wouldn't.
I think later on there is a stamp from Great Britain, or a picture from Great Britain of a mosaic that was recently discovered, and it's got the circular around the heads. I suspect these are supposed to be different saints, like Saint John or Saint Paul or whatever. I'm not.
Oh yeah, it'd be a halo.
Yeah.
Now, have you been to any of the places that have featured? I mean, have you actually seen one like Crete, Cyprus, Greece, Rome?
Nope, when we went to Europe in '97 and traveled around, that was before I even got into mosaics. I wished I would have. I'd have looked and made inquiry. Try to see something.
Well, you've been to Europe, you just said, so there's got to be some stamp from some country that there's been there, done that, just waiting to come out from you, right?
And compete with you?
Oh, come on. I don't want to monopolize it. I want to have this serve as a mechanism to inspire other people to write their stories.
Okay, this one is really quite a unique, one of the bigger sets that every stamp is a mosaic. And this also is from Cyprus.
They're very pretty stamps.
The catalog value on this particular set is about $40 and some odd cents. Most of the others are really pretty reasonable. Nothing is very expensive with the mosaics. But can you imagine the time it would take to put these little stones together? It's just amazing to me.
How are they glued?
I don't know.
Or, well, they must have had some mechanism, obviously, some horse glue, something that got it to stick, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure how they did that.
But these are all usually on the floor, right? These are mosaics on the ground. They're not vertical.
Floors, but they found them in ceilings, they found them in walls, and of course a lot of them in public bathing areas and ponds. But they most of the time on floors. And a lot of them are still being discovered. And a little later on, I'll show you some really recent discoveries. Albania has quite a few. There's two sets, this one and another one, that are the most colorful. And again, a set that is mostly all mosaics. Another one from Albania.
They were actually set in mortar. I just looked it up online.
All right.
So there you go.
I mentioned, they Northern Africa, Roman Empire was all over in Northern Africa, and these are from Algeria. Very. Go ahead.
I just did a quickie search on Google, just Googled mosaics on stamps, and then used the option that says images, and you can see, amongst pictures, but actually images of stamps. I'm not sure how big this topic is as a, collectible, but definitely can use that as a quick way to get access to some of these.
Another set from Algeria. I didn't enlarge these enough, looks like. But very colorful.
Yes, they are. That it would make a pretty collection.
This one, souvenir sheet, Israel put out. I can't remember what year, in the 70s, I think. This was actually found in Jerusalem. Souvenir sheet from Czechoslovakia. This was a recent find in, fairly recent. It was from an article. I spotted it and went online and found this set. This is a set that just came out in the last couple of years. But the one upper left is from a gold coin. It was found in England, and then there's a bronze found in the River Thames. And this red was actually a gemstone. And then a mosaic from, I would think that'd be a church, Hinton St. Mary. So a lot of these are being discovered as they do renovations and excavations and expansions of housing areas and that type of thing. This one was just found fairly recent, last year or so. And this is the one, another one, the circle. And I don't know how they know that's St. Paul, but that's the way that's when I found it. That's what it said, a mosaic of St. Paul. There's another one is very recent discovery in England due to some excavation and renovations of a housing area. There's some interesting figures in here. I'm not sure what some of them mean, but fascinating.
Yes.
Now, this is not a stamp. This was actually from an article. Anyway, folks, show's over. We're on the way. We're going home.
That
That's
was,
it.
Was that Granny Aldridge?
Yeah.
that was very interesting, Ken. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. Great job.
Well, the American Topical Association, of course, has grown, as we all know, and it's really helped. I think helped the whole society of collecting and the number of people collecting. I mean, you have people that are just want to do cats and turtles, but and I have sold off quite a bit of my stuff, and I still keep selling a little bit here and there. Right? Matter of fact, I sold $25 worth this afternoon of some Elvis Presley memorabilia from the post office that came out in 1992. These were things that were on the counter. I picked them up and saved them, and some youngster that wasn't born in 1992 must have bought them, I guess. Anyway, but mosaics is and golf are two of the topical things that I still have hung on to. But I encourage people to find something, art or any horses or there's no end to what's out there that a person can't really start collecting, and a lot of it is pretty reasonable.
Well, those mosaics are very attractive stamps.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
You've done instilled the bug in Judy again. Now she's gonna start collecting.
Good.
Let's see, we're going to the PSDA this weekend. Maybe I'll look up and see what I can find.
There you go. Better get there before Ken does.
I'm not going to be there this weekend.
Okay, I'm safe.
Well, Ken, thank you for that. That was
You're welcome.
interesting topic. I hadn't even thought about that, but
No, huh?
I'm sure I've probably seen some of those. A lot of those places in Italy and stuff, and some of their bathhouses and the old ruins. And
Yeah.
I do remember there were mosaics. It wasn't so much pictorial like those, but just inlaid tile in some spaces.
Well, I really didn't have time to dig into the Roman history. It would have made it a little more interesting to have a few more details about the whole, how it started and how it grew and all that. But anyway, maybe next time.
Now let's say make that part 2.
Yeah, maybe.
Might be a good exhibit.
Yes.
I thought about it.
Sure, mosaic.
Yeah, I was thinking it would make a good
Well, I'm sure
favorite.
the mosaics would just.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Rich?
I'm sure the mosaics were used on the floors because it'd be a very durable surface.
Ah,
There were
Certainly
stones.
would last well, the rock traffic and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're stones, so you don't have to fix them everything like our rugs wear out in a couple of years, right? And
Yeah.
stuff like that. Anyway, thank you. Anybody have anything else?
I was just going to comment that I noticed
Philadelphia
on the some of the British sitcoms that are on TV on Channel 13, they've showed some guys over in England that are actually uncovering those mosaics, and those old Roman. They're digging around and developing stuff, and then they're coming across these things that nobody knew was there. You know, they've been buried for 1,000 years or so. It's pretty interesting.
That is.
Unfortunately, a lot of the things they're discovering can never be pictured on stamps. Some of those mosaics from the reign of Tiberius and Caligula, and you'll never see those on stamps anywhere. You won't even see them on television.
Well, you never know.
Romans had some unusual tastes when it came to home decorating.
There's a been there, done that for you.
Peter, there's your cue.
I already had a penis cover from some Buchan, I think it was, cover that was mailed to me with 4 stamps that nobody saw, or certainly didn't mention it to me when they delivered it. But so yes, that kind of stuff can appear on stamps, and it did make it in the mail. I had it as a show and tell at the Arlington meeting, like maybe 10 years ago. So.
Alrighty, if we don't have anything else in particular,
Should we do
hope-
door prize drawing?
oh, yes, thank you. I've gotten,
Don't forget that.
I don't have my agenda anymore. I'm kind of out of whack here. Door prizes, right? Oh,
Yes. So I need a victim. Okay, Atkinson's, give me a number between 1 and 11.
Well, they say that 7 is a lucky number. Let's see what 7 does.
That's Skip Ely.
All right, Skip.
a lucky number for Skip.
Okay, Skip.
Skip, you're muted.
Yeah. We see your lips moving, but you're not talking.
Well, I tried to
Hold up your
unmute,
fingers.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Careful.
Hold up
Well, I
11 there, yeah.
I thought I'd hit the unmute button, but it didn't take. I'm getting so many gift certificates. I may not have to actually purchase anything from the APS books once we start them back up for the next year.
Well, good.
Anyway, all right, let's take number, since nobody ever picks 1 or 13, let's pick number 1.
Number 1 is Stanley Christmas. All right.
I did that on purpose because nobody picks number 1.
Well, that backfired, didn't it?
Yeah. Okay, since I know what the numbers are, Skip, pick another one.
All right, 4.
That's Rick Howe.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
13.
13.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
now
outside the ring.
let's say 1 to 11.
Oh, sorry. 11 then.
11 is Dave Stockbridge. Okay, let's go for 2 more. Dave? Oh, Dave's.
He's on
You're
mute.
muted.
Dave's muted.
You're
Yep.
muted.
Gotta get it off mute. Give me a moment. Gotta
Okay.
find the right place. Thanks, Rick.
Sure.
Number 8.
Number 8. Okay, that's me, so giving me another number.
9.
9. That's Gene Atkins.
All right.
Yeah, you started it out and hey, you got one. All right. And so one more.
We've just about used up all the numbers. Maybe 3. Is 3 left?
Yes, 3's left, and that's Ken Aldridge.
I
All right.
don't believe it.
Yeah. Congratulations, Ken.
Yes,
Thank you,
congratulations.
Gene.
I'll get those in the mail in the next few days.
Question for Skip. Skip, you mentioned the APS. Since we're meeting live next month, will you be ordering those APS books?
That is correct.
Very good.
I will be sending APS a note to resume with our May Arlington meeting later this week.
I welcome the opportunity to look them over.
All right.
Hey,
Thank you
Judy, can I
all.
come by and pick mine up tonight?
I'm sorry?
Can I come by and pick mine up tonight?
Where you going to spend it?
This
I'm gonna
weekend.
spend it Friday morning.
Oh,
That's right. You can take them up to the.
Oh,
TS.
yeah, that's right.
now combine, pick it up.
I'll be over after the meeting.
All right.
All
Skip,
right.
you get yours by this weekend?
Pardon?
I asked Skip if he needed his by this weekend.
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
All righty. Well, I hope that everybody would feel comfortable by May to come out in person, as many as is possible. And if anybody has a program they'd like to present, I would sure appreciate that.
And if not, we got videos.
And I say, yeah, Rick can pick out a video for us.
Okay,
I have a pretty good library of philatelic videos right now that are available.
that works for me because I'm not
Yeah.
very good at putting a program together. I have enough trouble getting the agenda up.
Oh, well, we'll get it.
Anyway, all have a good evening, good hunting this weekend for those who get to the Bourse up there.
Well, good night.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Adios.
Thanks, Rick.
Sure.
Take care, Rick.
Good night.
Bye.